keep starting him, whether you like it or not.
It's unforgivable. It's just flatly Doc gets some not a volume or an amount of criticism for this specific decision that could be too much. DeAndre Jordan has been cooked for 3 years. Even Steve Nash looked up from his upcoming tennis schedule long enough to realize, okay, he can't play. Sorry if it makes you mad, Katie. Frank Vogel figured it out eventually. And for Doc Rivers, yesterday, in the first half, DeAndre played 4 minutes. In those 4 minutes, the only way he could have been more damaging to the Sixers' chances would have been if he would have started a small fire on the bench. They're minus 12 in his 4 minutes. They're plus 13 in the 20 minutes he's not on the court. And Doc then quadruples down, starts him in the second half, plays him 13 minutes in the second half. When you're watching it, Rick, he won't jump for rebounds. He won't jump to block a shot. Like, there are other guys that are cooked. I watched Blake Griffin get put in mothballs and then get called out. And you know what? Tried his damnedest. Now, he's not good anymore, but he was trying. DeAndre won't give effort. And one of the reasons Paul Reed got in foul trouble so quickly is because Paul Reed was not given any type of reps because during the season, Doc insisted on playing DeAndre almost defiantly. How many times are you guys going to ask me? When they're big, we're going to play DeAndre. He's terrible. The Sixers absolutely could have stolen this game yesterday. And the fact that Doc looked at the first half and said, okay, second half, you know what the answer is? More DeAndre. It's just unfathomable to me. It's totally unbelievable.
Yeah. It's fair, Nick, but I don't know that Doc has ever received unfair criticism. He has received kid glove treatment for the media forever, and the fact that people are asking questions now, they're simply asking questions about a 3-1 series blown leads and playing Joel Embiid in the final minutes of a 29-point blowout, and now DeAndre Jordan. I mean, I don't think that those are unreasonable questions. They're questions that have a tone or a turn to them that Doc has never faced before in his career for some unknown reason. But Chris, I got to push back on this idea that Harden's 33 and he's over the hill and he's done. Like, Steph Curry's 33. LeBron James is 37. Chris Paul is almost 40.
Right.
Like, we've got guys who are as old or older and are still exactly. So I'm not putting this on age. I'm putting this on Harden hasn't been diligent about taking care of himself, and now he's suddenly paying the price. And that's what happens to guys. Guys fall off the cliff.
Told you guys, it catches up on you.
Because suddenly the injuries pile up.
Girls too.
Jenna, you know your favorite movie, Moneyball, when Brad Pitt playing Billy Beane.
Love that
movie. The manager of the A's, Art Howe, won't stop starting the first baseman, so he just cuts him or trades him. Daryl should just waive DeAndre today. Take it out of Doc's hands. DeAndre, appreciate it. Wait, you can't add anyone because of the playoffs? No problem. You're out. You got to take it out of Doc's hands.
First things first, Rick Bucher back with us this morning. Sixers Heat. Game 1, Rick. Could James Harden and the Sixers steal one without Embiid? We learned last night the answer is no. No, he could not. That is a thing he could not do. Not when he only goes for 16 points. Not when the Sixers missed 28 of their 34 attempts from three. Not when I ask the question like that, at least. Heat win Game 1, 106-92. For Harden, that's now 11 straight playoff games that he's been held under 25 points. How very un-Harden of him. Rick, did Game 1 prove that James Harden cannot carry the Sixers with Embiid sidelined?
I didn't even know this was a question still at this point. But yes, I would say it didn't. I would say that it confirmed, not proved, confirmed that James Harden can't carry the Sixers without Joel Embiid. But I didn't know that we were actually talking about that at this point. I will say this. I don't know that it's a matter of even ability at this point as much as it is conditioning. To me, that was the most glaring, most evident thing that I got out of this game, which was Harden can do certain things. He just can't do them very long. And as he went, the Philadelphia 76ers went. To me, Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris had a bigger imprint on this game simply because they could play for 4 quarters. And I didn't see that with James Harden. And I'm not overwhelmed by what Miami did. I thought they struggled to put this game away far more than I would have expected without Joel Embiid. But this is where James Harden is at this point. And we can look at the hamstring. We can come up with all sorts of excuses. But if this is going to be a series of perseverance and resilience and going against the Miami Heat, that's generally what a series becomes, then James Harden is not the guy that is going to get you there, because those are not calling cards for James Harden at this point in his career, if they ever were, Chris.
Yeah, they certainly aren't. Not now. And what you described, Rick, is a guy that is not what he used to be, a guy that has lost a step, and a guy that is getting older. Now, he's still a good player, but we're judging him by his standards that he set over the past decade. And I think whether it's the hamstring, you mentioned conditioning, which could be related to age. And I think people still think of James Harden as a guy that's, I wouldn't say young, but certainly right in the heart of his prime. And I'm saying James Harden has already played a full career. And if indeed he is losing it, it's not unnatural. It's not unusual. It's not like, wow, it hit him so quickly. How'd he lose it at such a young age? He'll be 33 in August. And if you look at this graphic, you'll see he has played more regular season games than Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Allen Iverson. All right, they all played 13 years. This is Harden's 13th season. Iverson played 14 years. And so I think he is slowing down. The hamstring, did that, push him in that direction more so? Maybe. But he clearly doesn't have the burst. He clearly can't blow by defenders the way he used to be able to. And certainly you're not going to be able to do that against a tough Miami Heat defense. And so Harden, is just can't do what he used to do. And here's a very telling stat from last night. He made or assisted on only 1 field goal over the final 20 minutes. So that goes to your point, Rick, of
not good.
He can still do it here and there in spurts, and he can still have a great game, maybe 1 out of every 4 or 5 games. But he can no longer do it consistently, and if you don't have Joel Embiid there, you really don't have much of a chance if you're expecting Harden to carry you, Wilds.
So here's the most surprising thing to me. Obviously, all players' game will dissolve a little bit, but the ego usually stays intact. We saw it famously with Carmelo, they want me to come off the bench. It's like, yeah, you should come off the bench because Carmelo's game had gone down, but the ego was still strong. We saw it this year with Russ. Hey, Russ, you're not that good of a shooter, and